Canva is a really great source to use when creating an infographic. You would start with your templates and you are going to be creating a poster. And when you are creating a poster, I want you to scroll down and I want you to create a blank poster. And the very first thing that I want you to do is I want you to click resize, and I would like you to customize this at 11 by 17 inches. Because when you use 11 by 17, we can print some of these out to hang up. So easiest way to start is with your background. If you know that you want a blue background, you can scroll down to photos or elements and you can type in blue. And you might get some blue backgrounds that you could easily use and click and drag over. Remember, you might need to resize to fill. You might want to move around to get it where you want it to be, but this would be your background. You can also zoom in here as well. So let's say I am going to create my infographic on things that happened in the 1980s when I was born versus things that are happening now. So maybe I could search up 1980s and see what pops up. I think that this graphic right here of the 80s cassette is awesome. So I think I'm going to use that. Click and drag it over. And I might want to resize it. I might want to rotate it so I can play around with placement. Again, you can always zoom in to help you see better. And maybe I'm going to compare it with now. So I'm just going to write 2000s. My search image, and perfect, a millennials image pops up. So I can use this one over here. So when you are working on your infographic, just keep in mind all of the things that we talked about that we're going to get graded on. You know, creativity, are you thinking outside the box? Is your information relevant? Do your pictures go along with the information that you're trying to share? Are you being creative about your layout and placement? And are you saying what you want to say? I think it might be fun if I had a speech bubble. So once again, just kind of search it. This looks like a fun one. So I can play around here to make my infographic and just keep adding to it. So I'm going to pause here and just keep adding, playing around with text. Remember, to add text, you just hit the text button, find something that you might like. This game over kind of reminds me of the 80s. I could play around with that, play around with colors. So give me a few minutes to make an infographic. One cool thing that you can do, so if I was looking up 1980s big hair, you can easily remove the background. So if I was to put this big hair from the 80s here to compare to my millennial hair, a couple of things. I can double click here and I can crop so that it's focusing mostly on the hair. And then I can click on edit image and I can click on background remover. And it's going to remove that background for me so that it is a transparent PNG, which can be really nice to use when you're trying to do an infographic. So you can see that it got rid of the background to create that transparent PNG. So I would just continue doing my comparison of 80s and now. I can add, you know, some details here. I could add some text. I could talk about how, you know, in the 80s that people used a lot of hairspray, and in the now, I guess, during millennials, a lot of times we've got a lot of colored hair. So I could use some information in text. So I would continue just creating my then and now poster here. When you are all done, you're going to want to download it, and you can save it as a PNG. Save it as a high quality size, and when you download it, you will have access to your file to share with me in Google Classroom. Don't forget to include your sources.